Wisdom teething lend me your ear. Dr. D Nice and FOUNT is here for the day. Want wisdom?
We got you.
Wellness?
We got you.
Ears?
You got two.
Bones? It's got 3. Chambers? 4. In your heart for doing right? 5. Keys, your game's all tight. FOUNT. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right and your body tight. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Talking Truth to Teen Issues, Tissues. Achoo! This is going to be an extra special episode. Frankly, we're going live on a Tuesday. There's a reason for that because I am actually, let me turn down my volume for my headset. It's a little loud. Hold on. Yeah. Check. Yeah. It was blowing out my ears. I'm like, I don't need to hear myself that much. Anyway, so we are going to be talking about altitude. It's going to visit altitude. Not our typical subject, but I'm going to explain to you why we're talking about it in just a little bit. Then, I have to talk about some health things. This is Dr. D Nice. I'm a whole doctor. I must talk to you about something health-wise, and we're going to talk about sleep. It seems like my hair is doing something really weird. Hold on. It's hard, like it's mirror image. Where are we? Oh, man. Okay, there it is. I'm like, I didn't know where this hair was. Okay, there we go. I almost kind of looked cute when it was just hanging there. Let me bring it back to the front. There we go. All right, I see you, girl. Anyhow, we are going to... Okay. Then we are going to... Some health issues. We're going to talk about sleep. And, of course, must in our relationship section, we're going to talk about getting married. Why not? I know you're young and you're not thinking about that yet. I want to have a conversation about that. And in our teen archetype section, we'll talk about the coward, and we'll wrap up our show where I share a story with you about when I went to Colorado for the very, very first time. Super cool story. You're going to love it. Should we just get into it? Okay, we got to start off with our Instagram reel. Let me get that. Okay, let me get the volume on. And go. But she can't breathe. That's 14,000 feet up in the air from sea level she's at. That altitude getting the best of her, but she's faking it real good. And her knees hurt. Don't believe it. That girl right there. I don't believe it. She's smiling, but she can't breathe. That's 14,000 feet up in the air from sea level she's at. That altitude getting the best of her, but she's faking it real good. And her knees hurt. And her knees hurting. Listen, this is me at Mount Bearstead in Colorado, my first 14er. And in a few weeks, the first week in August, me and 50,000 of my closest youth friends will be camping in Gillette, Wyoming. It's a Pathfinder camporee. Every 4 years we have these camporees, and this is going to be the one. Super exciting. Gillette, Wyoming is at altitude. Right now, we live in Raleigh, North Carolina. The altitude here is pretty close to sea level. It's 331 feet. And Gillette, Wyoming is 4,554 feet above sea level. And Denver, Colorado, we'll be flying into Denver. Denver is at 5,280 feet. It's called the Mile High City. So pretty much Gillette, Wyoming, maybe like a little shy of 1,000 feet below Colorado, still altitude. You're leaving from pretty much flat land by the sea and going up into the sky where the air is thin. I'm about to tell you all you need to know to get prepared for that trip. I know some of the Pathfinders will be coming from altitude themselves. No big deal, piece of cake to you, walk in the park. For the rest of us lowlanders, though, this one is for you. Okay, so what is the big deal about altitude? Well, the big deal is as you go further up, the air gets thinner, the oxygen is just not oxygenating up there. Your body fights real hard to gather oxygen from the air because, oxygen is important for all your muscles to work, for your body to function. And you could understand if your body is not able to pull in enough oxygen from the air, you can see how you can get sick real quickly. And that's the whole deal with going up to altitude. People that live there, their body acclimates in ways that they have more blood volume and different things that allow them to acclimate. You are going to be there for a week. You're not going to have time to develop new blood cells. So I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do right now to get ready and make sure that you don't get to feeling too bad when you're up there. Let's just start off with one thing. We are not going up very high. Yes. We're not going up very high. We're not even going a mile high. Well, for a brief time, we're going to be in Denver. But overall, Gillette is not a mile high up in the sky. As I said before, it's 4,554 feet, not quite a mile high, which is 5,280 feet will be considered a mile high. But most people will get altitude sickness. They say about 4,900 feet and above. Some people even say it needs to be over 8,000 feet. Either way, though, we're going up, and you may feel the change in your body. And some of the changes that people feel when they're at altitude, and these are the milder ones. You may feel more exhausted. You may have trouble sleeping, some nausea, dizziness, just dragging. These are some of the milder symptoms that you feel that you may expect to feel when you head to Gillette, Wyoming, which is not quite a mile high in the sky. Now, there's that more extreme version of altitude sickness, which I doubt many of us will really experience. But just for grins, I'm going to mention them to you. Of course, people can get headaches. Headaches can be one of the milder symptoms too. But people can get severe headaches. You can get severely dehydrated. This thing called lassitude, where you just I'm going to sit here. I can't move. Or you may get drowsiness and confusion, nausea, vomiting, lack of coordination. Those are things that tend to happen when you're going up into things like, in Peru, those big mountains up there that are high, or you're trying to do a 14er. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing a 4er, 4,000 feet. That's where we're going. And some of those symptoms that you may have, like I said, are just feeling a little bit more exhausted, a little bit trouble sleeping, or maybe a little bit more sleep. You may have trouble sleeping, or you may actually feel more sleepy. You may have nausea, dizziness, and headaches. Those are some of the milder symptoms. Now that we've pointed those out, what can you do about it? Well, while you're there, and I'm going to talk about what you can do about while you're there if you do feel sick, and then I'm going to talk about things that you can actually do right now, wherever you are, whether you're in Raleigh, whether you're in New Jersey, New York, all up and down the East Coast, where we're on the flatlands, or the other side where you're at sea level. I'm going to tell you some of the things that you can do to prepare for going up in altitude in Gillette, Wyoming. So make sure that we have a great time. So first, let's just talk about while you're there, let's say you do feel that you're getting sick. You're not really adjusting to the altitude that much. Make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. The air in Gillette is going to be drier. Even though you're not pouring sweat off your body, sweat is evaporating from you. You're losing a lot of moisture. And you should drink about 2 times the amount of water that you will typically drink down here in the flatlands, in the sea, close to sea level lands. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Hydration is going to be one of the key things that cause people to just not feel themselves when they're at an altitude that they're not accustomed to. The next one is, and I should use my little numbers. Here we go. That was number 1. Hydration. Hydration is key. Number 2 is eat. When you're eating, you can make sure you're having well-balanced meal with fats and proteins. Carbohydrates tend to make you feel better at altitude. So make sure you have those carbohydrate-y foods, and those are things. This is not the time to cut carbs, okay? All y'all people out there that want to cut carbs, this is not the time when you're at altitude. You can go ahead and have some carbs. These are things like rice and potatoes, sweet potatoes. This is not saying go out and have junk food. No, still stick to more conscious carbs, more carbs that have more nutritional value, but carbs nonetheless. Also foods that are higher in potassium, and those are things like broccoli, banana, tomatoes, cantaloupe, avocados, dried fruit. They tend to be higher in potassium, and potassium can help with the sodium balance and how your body stays hydrated. Don't even worry about it. It's doing something good. Have high potassium foods when you're there, and it can help with preventing you from getting sick while you're there. As far as exercising goes, which is 3, don't just jump right in. I know in Gillette, we're going to have lots of tournaments and things. Don't just jump right in. Maybe take the first day to really acclimate to the campgrounds. Acclimate to the place where you are. I'm sure everybody's going to want to hit the ground running. And if you're not just adjusting to that altitude very well, take a day. And I will throw that in. Let me tell you all. Years ago, we left from New Jersey and I'm going to tell you the story about when I went camping in Denver, in Colorado. But we went from New Jersey to Colorado. I was 13 years old. I didn't feel nothing. I was just so excited about being among all these kids from all around the world, Pathfinders. Oh, we are the Pathfinders strong. Just having myself a good time that I don't recall feeling tired, sick, or nothing. Of course, youth is protective for a lot of things. And I suspect youth is going to be on your all side right now when you're heading to Gillette. So that being said, monitor your activity level. If you're noticing that you just can't go the way you used to, pull it back a little bit. Number 4, which I don't have to tell you all Pathfinders at all, don't drink. I'm sure Gillette is going to be an alcohol-free zone for Pathfinders. Alcohol for sure will make you feel worse at altitude. And number 5, really make sure that you're dressing in layers. This may not fully have to do with altitude per se, but if you're uncomfortable, it could even make you feel worse, adding to the fact that the altitude has you off. In Gillette, the temperature will get colder at night. This is almost like a desert type climate. Make sure you're dressing in layers and you're covered up, that in the night you can put something on as it gets chillier. And number 6, sun protection. Make sure you're protecting yourself from the sun. You are higher up there. You are closer to the Lord and closer to the sun when you're up there at altitude. Make sure that you're having some sort of protection on. As I mentioned before, that there with the heat there, you can be sweating and losing moisture and not even realizing it just because it's more of a dry climate. Make sure that you're having some sort of sun protection when you're out there. And, there's not as many trees out in that side of the world, too. Sun protection, that can help you with, of course, if it's a hat, it can help you not lose as much moisture, but just protecting yourself from the sun and sunburn and other things that can further pull moisture away from your body. And those are the tips that I would recommend that you do when you're there to kind of prevent potentially from having any kind of altitude sickness. Now, let's say you did everything you didn't need to do, because those last few ones I mentioned, they're just like, they're not as high up there on the things that you have to do. The biggest one is hydration and eating well and monitoring your activity level. Those are the biggest ones. You do all of that, and then you get sick. Well, what you need to do is just rest. Rest and hydrate. That is going to be the key. And if you're noticing that you're nauseous, you're throwing up, you're having severe headaches, and it's just not getting better, then you must seek medical attention immediately. Of course, if you're not feeling well, tell one of your Pathfinder counselors, anybody that you're there that's monitoring you, that you're not feeling well, and they'll help you take care of it. Okay, last and not least, you are home right now. There are some things that you can do to make sure that you can be ready for Gillette, Wyoming. Exercise. Right now where you are, work on exercising, building up your cardiovascular strength, your cardiovascular capabilities. Make sure that you're able to keep up and practice running, walking, whatever you want to do right now to just work on your conditioning. Make sure that you're able to be physically active so that when you get to Gillette, Wyoming, it's not a shock to your system. Your body is more efficient at processing oxygen already. Right now, where you are, exercise. I recommend every single day until you get to Gillette, Wyoming on your camping trip. And then last, make sure that you're eating well, nourishing your body, sleeping well to make sure that you're not exhausted, you're not malnourished when you're heading to Gillette, so that you can have a good, amazing time with over 50,000 of your closest friends. All right, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be monitoring and hopefully we'll be able to answer all your questions about potentially altitude sickness. Of course, we didn't exhaust all the possibilities in this video. It's starting the conversation, making sure you all know what you're about to get into, and making sure that you're prepared, because we are the Pathfinders strong, and I wish you all the best. Hopefully I'll see you all. Come find me out there in Gillette, Wyoming. Looking forward to it. Okay, where are my people at? Y'all here? I'm trying to see who's here, who showed up to our live today. I know we're usually on Wednesdays, and not everybody was going to show up. Yeah, we're not going to be here very long. I'm still going to do some of our thing. Let's just talk about sleep real quick, okay? I'm not going to be here long, like I said, because it's not our usual day, and I don't know what y'all got planned. But we got to talk about FOUNT, and y'all know FOUNT is, here we go. FOUNT is the 5 keys to wellness and wisdom to help you unlock your best. And the F in FOUNT is for fuel. Well, no, we're not doing fuel. What am I doing? Give me a second. We are doing the T. We're doing the T in FOUNT for time. Time to exercise. Are you exercising? Denise, if you don't get this together, no, it's time to sleep. Y'all need 9 hours of sleep. Apparently, I didn't get enough because I'm just here just talking wrong. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Sleep is associated with so many things: your mental health, your ability to lose weight, your ability to concentrate, your ability to monitor how much you eat, and be aware of this to monitor. That's not the word. Regulate how much you eat. Listen, when you don't sleep, you're gonna want to eat more than usual. My brain just cannot think of the right words today. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, bottom line. And as a teenager, you need at least 9 hours of sleep, 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night. How much are you getting? Because I know anytime I go to these schools, I ask, I'm like, how much sleep y'all getting? A lot of you all, like 4 hours. What? How in the world do you expect to exist on 4 hours worth of sleep? It's not that much. Get it together. Anyway, all right, make sure you get some sleep. Sleep is more important. That is where your body fixes and repairs itself. Okay, and now we're on our FOCK section, which is our relationship and sexuality. All I'm saying is get married. When you get in your mid-20s, once you've chosen what career you're going to do, you're working towards it, you don't even have to wait till you're successful. If you know that you are a person that wants to be sexually active, get married. Wait till you're married and go ahead and get married. Find somebody that you're compatible with. You all have the similar values. You have the same place that you're making your moral decisions from. That's really all it takes. And go for it. Commit yourselves to each other and stay together. It sounds simple, and it really is. People make it sound more complicated than it actually needs to be. The love of my life, the one. That is just not how it works. Find somebody that you all can make this decision from the same moral base, and you all can respect each other and go for it. And you love God together. Like, look, it's a triangle. You, him, you, both of you, like you, the other person, and God form a little triangle that you all can start a family from. All right, guys, where am I? Okay, I'm breezing through these because, like I said, it's a quick show. We're not on our usual day. And I just do need to get ready for our 4th of July trip. That's why I'm not doing my show on Wednesday. I'm heading out of town for 4th of July, and I wanted to get this done because I don't like to miss no shows. Okay, next, the coward. All right, let's talk about the teen archetype, the coward. You know him. Why do I say him? Girls can be cowards too. Don't want to do anything. It's not even cautious. It's just fearful. There's a different thing between cautious, where you sit down and you calculate each of the steps that you need to take first, and then you move. No. This is like they never move. Everything is fearful. Everything is potentially harmful to them, to a person physically or mentally. You just don't want to try anything. Now, I don't know if this came from experiences where you've tried something and every time you decide that you're going to try to ride the bike, the kids in the neighborhood laughed at you because you pedaled wrong. I don't know where it came from. Wherever it came from, though, you need to get some therapy, talk to your mom and dad about it. Something. You cannot be cowardice about life. Life requires bravery. There are going to be times where you have to make tough decisions, where you're going to have to put yourself out there in situations that you do not understand. And you're going to have to be able to weigh it. Not saying that every single thing that you need to be jumping into. No, that's not what I'm saying here. There are going to be things, though, that are that cause fear deep inside your spirit that you're going to have to do. At some point, there's going to be a girl that you want to talk to, and you're so cowardice that you don't want to do it. But she could be your person, and you just don't want to talk to her because you're scared. Pull it together. It's not that easy. I know it's not that easy, but pull it together. All right. All right, I'm done. Listen, this is our last story, and then we're out of here. This is our frontal lobe training, where I share an experience that I went through so that you could either learn from it or not ever do what I did. Here's the experience. You may want to do what I did, though. Talking about cowardice. I was 13 years old and was going on the most amazing camping trip. We were leaving from Irvington, New Jersey, and we were going to be camping in Camp Hale, Colorado. It was exciting. We had done all the preparation for over a year. We'd fundraise. We all had matching t-shirts. We had matching duffel bags where we packed all our stuff. We were ready. Was Colorado ready for the Newark Pioneer Pathfinder Club? It was, because we showed up there and had us a ball. We met people from all over the place. I had me a little campery boyfriend. Nothing, we just hung out and we just found each other and we're walking around. Hi. Oh, I can't even remember his name. Whatever, is Michael here? We'll go over to his camp. Is Michael? No, Michael just left for I was so hurt. But it was just a good time. A good time was had. We had our knot tying honor. We got to make rope. The Cosby kids were the special guests at the camporee. That was amazing. We learned a camporee song. We are his hands to see the and we are his sun shining in the. I can't remember the whole words. I remember the melody. It was a blast. One of the most important things that came out of that trip, though, is when I decided, I looked up at those mountains that were around me. I'd never seen anything like that before. And I said, when I'm done with school, I am going to move to Colorado. And you know what? Yes, when I was finished with school, I moved to Colorado. I didn't know nobody. I was just there. And that's where, of course, 3 weeks later, I met my husband, and the rest is history. Listen, wisdom understands that when you're young and experiencing things, it really can set the foundation for your future life. It's okay to put yourself out there in different situations and wait to see what this brings, what this blossoms into in your life. Then there is stupidness. They're never willing to go to and do anything different. They just love to sit in the status quo. Man, sit in the status quo. That's a tongue twister. But stupidness, that is where they love to hang out. They prefer not to put themselves out there in any way, not to try anything new, staying right where they are. It is what it is. Nothing adventurous, and that's how their life stays. That's not you. Remember, there's wisdom and there's stupidness. Choose wisdom. Remember, show me your brightest, show me your best, show me the latest guru. God's wisdom lets theirs look like stupidness. Okay, I think we're done. We are done. And I will end off with our usual, even though you all didn't come in today. I know that they threw you all off. A couple people popped in, but the regulars were not here. I know. It was hard to remember. I know that. Let me pull up our thing. Remember. The Lord bless and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. May the Lord watch between me and you while we're absent one from another. Amen. Until next time, guys. Until next time. You all take it easy. Have a good week. Make good decisions. Make good friends. And we are out. Wisdom teething lend me your ear. Dr. D Nice and FOUNT is here for the day. Want wisdom?
We've got you.
Wellness?
We've got you.
Ears?
You got 2.
Bones? It's got 3. Chambers? 4. In your heart for doing right? 5. Keys? Your game's all tight? FOUNT. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right and your body tight. Get your mind right and your body tight.